Flowers are integral for reproduction in angiosperms and contain many different parts. At this station, I'm going to use a flower model to discuss these different parts. Hopefully, this will help you remember where they're located and what their functions are. You will need to draw a flower and its parts on your handout. You can do this either while I put the model together or after I'm finished.
Here are the parts of our flower model that I'll be putting together to hopefully help you get a better idea of the structure of the flower. So first we have the pedestal. The pedestal is simply a connection between the flower and the stem. Now I'm going to attach the petals. You're probably most familiar with this part of the flower, but they're going to be attracting pollinators to the flower, and they may be brightly colored or patterned in order to be more attractive. Next we have the sepals. The sepals are the portion of the plant that protects the flower, and they are sterile. And what that means is they are not involved in reproduction. They're neither a male nor a female reproductive part. Moving on to the pistil, this is the female reproductive organ and contains the ovary and style. And lastly, we have the stamen, contains anther and filament and produces pollen. And this is the male reproductive organ. So here we have our completed flower comprised of the pistil, sepals, stamen, petals, and pedestal.
Flowers can have both male and female reproductive parts. When both occur in the same structural plan, the flower is referred to as perfect. An imperfect flower contains either male or female parts. Sexual reproduction occurs in angiosperms when pollen is transferred from the stamen to the pistil and finally to the ovary. Pollination often relies on a pollinator to carry pollen between flowers. However, some flowers use wind or water. In these flowers, the anthers usually hang out so that there's a greater chance of the pollen reaching a distant, large, feathery stigma. While this method leaves much to chance, it requires less energy than attracting a pollinator. Once a pollen nucleus fuses with a nucleus in the ovule, fertilization occurs.
Here is the view of some different pollen grains. Remember, pollen from insect-pollinated plants are typically sticky or spiky to stick to insects, while pollen from wind-pollinated plants are smooth and light so that they can easily be carried by the wind. So taking a look at these, choose which is which and make sure to draw one of each on your handout.